You're exhausted, and you don't even know why. You wake up every morning, you go through the motions, you handle your responsibilities, but deep inside, there is a quiet, relentless hum of anxiety. You feel as though you are constantly playing defense against your own life. A single text message can ruin your mood. A thoughtless comment from a co-worker can loop in your head for days. A sudden change in your plans can send your nervous system into an absolute spiral. You are living your life as a reaction, a leaf blown around by the emotional winds of the world, constantly at the mercy of whatever happens to you next. You think this is normal. You think this is just the cost of living in the modern world. But what if I told you that your exhaustion is not a requirement? What if the chaos in your mind is not a permanent condition, but simply a lack of training? Over 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius sat at the pinnacle of the known world. As the emperor of the Roman Empire, he possessed absolute, unchecked power. He faced plagues that wiped out millions, endless wars on his borders, deep political betrayals from his closest allies, and the crushing weight of ruling an empire. By all modern metrics, his mind should have been shattered by the stress. Yet, he is not remembered for his panic. He is remembered for his profound, terrifying, unshakable calm. He did not achieve this peace because his life was easy. He achieved it because he mastered an internal operating system that made him completely immune to external chaos. He understood a brutal psychological truth. The world will always be unpredictable, but your mind is a kingdom where you hold absolute sovereignty. Today, we are going to dismantle the weak, reactive habits that are currently draining your life force. We are going to explore 11 Stoic lessons straight from the private journals of Marcus Aurelius. Lessons that will entirely rebuild your psychological architecture. These are not soft, comforting motivational tips. They are lethal, battle-tested protocols for mental dominance. Before we begin this transformation, you must make a choice. Are you ready to stop being a casualty of your own emotions? If you're tired of surrendering your peace to a world you cannot control, hit the subscribe button right now. Join a community of builders who are actively forging their minds. Share this video with someone who is currently drowning in their own anxiety. And do not skip a single second of this guide. Every lesson builds the foundation for the next, and missing even one will leave a crack in your armor. Seal your commitment to this path today. Drop this exact vow in the comments below. I am the absolute master of my own mind. Number 1. Reclaim the territory of your mind. The root of almost all your daily suffering comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of where your power actually lives. You spend massive amounts of energy trying to manipulate the external world. You try to control what your boss thinks of you. You try to control the economy. You try to control the behavior of your partner. And you try to orchestrate every outcome so that you never have to feel discomfort. And when the world inevitably refuses to bend to your will, you collapse into frustration and despair. Marcus Aurelius wrote the ultimate law of mental strength. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. To become mentally strong, you must aggressively draw a border around your own consciousness. Everything outside that border, other people's opinions, the past, the future, the traffic, the weather, the economy, is completely out of your jurisdiction. You must stop fighting battles in territories you do not own. When you shift your focus entirely to the things you can control, your interpretations, your effort, your discipline, and your response to adversity, you immediately strip the world of its ability to harm you. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the author of your reaction. The chaos outside continues, but the panic inside dies. Anchor this truth in your mind right now. Comment below, I control my response, and I release the rest. Number 2. Weaponize your obstacles. Think about how you react when something goes wrong. A project fails, a relationship ends, a financial emergency strikes, and your immediate automatic response is a narrative of victimhood. Why is this happening to me? This is unfair. My path is blocked. You view resistance as a punishment, a sign that the universe is working against your progress. But Marcus Aurelius operated on a completely different frequency. He famously declared, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The Stoic does not merely tolerate adversity. The Stoic weaponizes it. They understand that the fire does not destroy the gold. It burns away the impurities. When you encounter a massive obstacle, you must train your brain to stop seeing it as a wall and start seeing it as a forge. That difficult co-worker is not a curse. They are your personal trainer for emotional regulation and patience. That failure is not a permanent brand of incompetence. It is a masterclass in what does not work, pointing you directly toward what will. When you adopt this mindset, you become terrifyingly resilient. You can no longer be stopped because every force that attempts to break you simply provides the exact friction you need to sharpen your blade. Number 3. The total eradication of complaining. We live in a culture that treats complaining as a competitive sport. We bond over mutual grievances. We vent about our exhaustion. We whine about the unfairness of society. And we broadcast our minor inconveniences to anyone who will listen. You might think complaining is just a harmless way to let off steam, but psychologically, it is pure poison. Marcus Aurelius gave himself a brutal command. Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well. Every time you complain, you are verbally confirming to your own subconscious that you are a helpless victim. You are amplifying your pain and leaking your vital energy into useless noise. To stay calm and mentally strong, you must adopt a strict policy of zero complaining. When you strip the emotional commentary away from a situation, you are left only with the facts, and facts can be dealt with. The next time you are tempted to vocalize your frustration, shut your mouth. Swallow the grievance. Redirect that wasted vocal energy into finding a solution, or simply accept the reality with quiet, unbroken dignity. Declare your standard below. Type this: I do not complain, I conquer. Number 4. Confine your awareness to the present. Your mind is a time traveler, but it almost never visits a happy timeline. You spend your mornings agonizing over past mistakes that you cannot rewrite. You spend your evenings projecting yourself into a highly detailed, catastrophic future, fighting imaginary wars that have not even started. You are bleeding out emotionally for events that do not actually exist in the physical reality of the present moment. Do not let the panorama of your life oppress you, Aurelius advised. Do not dwell on all the various troubles which may have occurred in the past or may occur in the future. Just ask yourself in regard to this present difficulty, what is there in this that is unbearable and beyond endurance? When you confine your consciousness strictly to the present second, the unbearable weight of your life instantly evaporates. You realize that you only ever have to survive one moment at a time. The anxiety you feel is not caused by the task in front of you. It is caused by trying to carry tomorrow's burdens with today's strength. Snap your attention violently back to the now. Look at the immediate step in front of you. You will always have exactly enough strength to survive the present moment. Number 5. Anticipate the flaws of humanity. How many times a week are you disappointed, angered, or shocked by the behavior of other people? Someone lies to you. Someone betrays your trust. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you spin into a state of outrage. Your peace is shattered because you expect the world to operate with perfect justice and kindness. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense love for humanity, was a profound realist. He started every single day with this deliberate meditation. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. This is not a dark, pessimistic way to live. It is the ultimate psychological armor. When you actively anticipate that people will be flawed, selfish, and irrational, their bad behavior completely loses its element of surprise. You stop feeling personally attacked when someone acts out of ego because you already factored their ego into your daily equation. You observe their toxicity, you nod your head, and you move on, completely untouched. You protect your peace by accepting that humans will be human, and you refuse to let their internal chaos dictate your internal calm. Number 6. Strip away the story. The events of your life do not cause your pain. Your interpretations of those events cause your pain. A Stoic understands the massive difference between objective reality and subjective judgment. If you lose your job, the objective reality is simply that your bank account will no longer receive a specific direct deposit from a specific company. That is the fact, but your mind instantly adds a devastating story. I am a failure. I will never recover from this. Everyone is judging me. My life is ruined. It is the story, not the fact, that makes you unable to breathe. Aurelius taught himself to strip away the adjectives and the emotional narratives. He looked at roasted meat and reminded himself it was just a dead bird. He looked at vintage wine and called it fermented grape juice. He deconstructed the glamour and the terror of the world into bare, boring facts. You must do the same with your problems. When disaster strikes, strip away the dramatic narrative. Stop letting your mind write horror scripts. When you look at the raw, unedited facts of your situation, you will always find that they are manageable. Lock in this level of clarity. Comment below. I observe the facts and reject the fear. Number 7. Retreat into the inner citadel. Modern society programs you to constantly seek escape. When you feel stressed, you book a vacation. When you feel overwhelmed, you go to a retreat. You look for peace in the mountains, on the beach, or at the bottom of a bottle. But physical escapes are temporary, and wherever you go, you bring your chaotic mind with you. Aurelius recognized that true sanctuary is never geographic. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul, he wrote. You must build an inner citadel, a fortress of stillness within your own mind that you can access at a moment's notice. You build this through daily periods of chosen silence. You build it by disconnecting from the digital noise and sitting alone in a room, watching your thoughts without judging them. When you cultivate this inner sanctuary, you no longer need the environment to be quiet in order for you to be calm. You can stand in the middle of a screaming crowd, in the center of a crisis, and simply close your eyes, take one deep breath, and descend into an untouchable reservoir of peace. Number 8. The absolute dismissal of public opinion. We live in a culture entirely addicted to the drug of validation. You curate your photos, you edit your words, and you twist your personality into unnatural shapes because you are terrified of being misunderstood or disliked by the gallery. You allow the opinions of strangers, people who do not even know their own minds, to govern your self-worth. Marcus Aurelius found this deeply absurd. It never ceases to amaze me, he observed. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. To become mentally strong, you must violently sever the cord of external validation. You must realize that the crowd is fickle, emotional, and easily distracted. Why would you base the foundation of your identity on something as fragile as a public approval? Let them judge you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them whisper behind your back. Their opinions are merely vibrations of air. They possess no physical weight and can do you absolutely no harm unless you voluntarily pick them up and carry them. Live your life according to your own strict moral code and treat the applause and the booing of the crowd as exactly the same meaningless noise. Drop this vow in the comments right now. My self-respect does not require their approval. Number 9. Act as the architect of your own character. Many people spend their entire lives reading philosophy, collecting inspirational quotes, reading self-help books, and debating the nuances of what it means to be a good person. They consume endless information, but their daily habits never actually change. They remain reactive, lazy, and undisciplined, hoping that intellectual understanding will magically translate into personal transformation. Aurelius had zero patience for this intellectual procrastination. He wrote the most devastating, simple command in the history of self-improvement. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Mental strength is not a theory you memorize. It is a practice you embody. It does not matter how many books you have read if you cannot control your temper when someone insults you. It does not matter how much you know about resilience if you quit the moment your work gets hard. You must stop preparing to live and start actively executing your values. Your character is forged solely by the actions you take in the present moment, particularly when no one is watching. Stop talking about the standard. Become the standard. Number 10. Rise to the duty of being human. The battle for your life is often lost the exact moment your alarm goes off. You open your eyes, the warmth of the bed holds you, and the immediate thought is, I don't want to do this today. I want more sleep. I want comfort. You negotiate with your weakness, and you start your day from a position of surrender. As an emperor, Marcus Aurelius had every luxury available to him. He could have stayed in bed indefinitely. But he wrote this brutal truth to himself. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? You were not put on this earth to be endlessly comfortable. You were not engineered for perpetual rest. You were built to execute a purpose, to serve your community, to overcome resistance, and to forge a meaningful existence. When the morning comes, you do not ask yourself how you feel. Feelings are irrelevant to duty. You throw off the covers, you put your feet on the floor, and you rise. Because action precedes motivation, and discipline is the ultimate form of self-love. Number 11. The clarifying lens of mortality. This is the ultimate secret of Stoic power, and it is the one truth that modern society tries desperately to hide from you. You act as though you have an infinite reserve of time. You delay the hard conversations, you postpone the pursuit of your true calling, and you hold on to bitter grudges, implicitly believing that you have thousands of tomorrows waiting for you. You could leave life right now, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The practice of memento mori, remembering that you will die, is not meant to depress you. It is meant to deeply, radically awaken you. When you view your current problem through the lens of your own inevitable death, the trivial nonsense instantly burns away. Does it really matter that someone didn't text you back? Will you care about that awkward social interaction when you're on your deathbed? Will you be proud of the years you spent scrolling through a glowing screen while your actual life passed you by? Death is the great clarifier. It reminds you that your time is the most expensive, non-renewable currency in the universe. Do not waste another hour living in fear, performing for people you do not respect, or drowning in imaginary anxiety, live with the quiet, devastating urgency of someone who knows the clock is relentlessly ticking. These 11 lessons are not a passive philosophy. They are the structural blueprints for a titanium mind. Marcus Aurelius did not write them to sound profound to an audience. He wrote them in the mud of military camps and in the quiet, lonely hours of the night, fighting to keep his own soul intact under the crushing weight of the world. You have the same power within you. You have the ability to withdraw your energy from the chaos, to stop complaining, to embrace your obstacles, and to step into the quiet, fierce authority of your own discipline. It will not be easy. The world will constantly try to pull you back into the noise. Your own ego will try to trick you into reacting. But every time you pause, every time you choose reason over rage, every time you take responsibility instead of playing the victim, you lay another brick in your inner citadel. If you have made it to the very end of this video, it proves that you are not like the masses who seek quick fixes and cheap entertainment. You possess the rare hunger for true mastery. Prove it right now. Cement this mindset into your reality. Hit the like button to lock in your progress. Share this video with a friend who is fighting a hard battle in the dark. And make sure you are subscribed so you never lose your edge. Leave your final unbreakable vow in the comments below. I command my mind and I conquer my life. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Guard your inner citadel. I will see you in the next one.